Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So no crazy reveal, no crazy montage or anything like that, but the new wheels have arrived. We have been running the E88s, as you guys know, for the last, about 2 months or so. And I love them. I think they look great, but I kind of went over the reasons as to why I'm switching up so soon in a different video, basically saying that I love the E88s, one of my favorite wheels ever, but I'm just not a fan of how they fit on the F8 chassis. I much prefer them on different generations, older generations and 911s and everything. So in my pursuit to perfect this car and get it exactly the way that I want it, I decided to pick up another set of BBSs. Now, I do have the E88s for sale, so if you're interested in picking those up, let me know. I have them listed at quite a few places. So hit me up on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to sell them to you. But more importantly, let's go over the new wheels. So if you guys are familiar with the BBS line, these are the BBS RIAs. So this is a wheel that I have always loved because of its simplicity, because of its design, and something about it has always just kind of caught my eye. And the RIAs are just that. It's an OEM plus looking wheel, nothing crazy, very simple, and I really think it's gonna do this car justice. Sizing, 18 by 10 plus 37 for the rears. The fronts are 18 by 10 plus 25. Tires, I went back to the Falcon RT 660s, same tires that I ran on the TEs. These are 295/30s in the rear, and the fronts are 275/35s. Very similar specs to my TEs, although the fronts are a 10-inch wheel as opposed to a 9.5. So it's gonna be similar. It's actually gonna be a little bit more aggressive than the 9.5s on the TEs. So this should look really good, and I'm really excited to get these on. Plus with the nice fat meaty 275, nice square look, it's gonna look amazing. Now, why did I switch back to the Falcons after experiencing the PS4Ss? Now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge Michelin fanboy, and I've been running Michelins for years. It's honestly my go-to tire on all of my wheels on all my cars. But ever since I got the F80, I wanted to try out a little bit more track spec, a little bit more aggressive compound, and I just fell in love with the RT 660s. I love the way they look, I love the way they feel, and it just kind of makes this car feel and look more aggressive and kind of fits the direction that I like to keep this car. So the PS4Ss are really nice. They're great if you daily drive your car and you want a summer tire. They're very comfortable, very smooth, and very quiet. These are smooth and comfortable, but they're a little bit louder just because of the tread, and you know, it's obviously like a track spec tire, so it's gonna be a little bit louder overall, but don't let that hold you back. Since the F80 has so much sound deadening inside, it's pretty quiet, and it didn't bother me at all. But PS4Ss are really nice. I just prefer the more aggressive tire. So I ended up picking these up from Ron at AR Motorworks. You guys are probably familiar with his work. He does a lot of really awesome setups. He is kind of known for his crazy BBS setups. If you guys follow him on Instagram, I'll put all his information below. He has done some wild cars. Now, Ron did me a big favor and actually got these coated in the color that I wanted. I couldn't find RIAs in gloss black. They did a very limited run in a very specific spec, and for the spec that I wanted, they did not come in gloss black. They found them in black blue, which was a black, but it had a blue kind of sparkle and hue to it, which was not my thing. They had them in silver, gold, but for me, I wanted them in gloss black. I actually wanted my TEs originally in gloss black, but I couldn't find them, so I settled on the flat black. Now, the flat black ended up being really cool. It looked awesome, but I will say I was not happy with the finish on those. They just did not hold up well. They stain very easily. They grip onto the brake dust, so they're hard to clean. The barrels of the TEs, the SLs, they're really rough, so it just kind of grabbed onto the brake dust and it held onto it, and they're really hard to always keep clean. Now, granted, you guys know me, I did keep them pretty clean and they did okay, but I just wasn't happy with the flat Volk finish, and it never just looked right after they got dirty for the first time. I stayed on top of it, but they just never looked right. And I really wanted to go with a gloss black TE, but I couldn't find them in that spec, so I settled on flat black. With the RIAs, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna splurge and get the color that I want and get gloss black because I think it's gonna look so good on mineral gray. Give it that contrast, even though it's a black wheel, and kind of show the detail of the wheel, not just fade into the abyss like the black TEs. So I think these are gonna look really good. So Ron did me a solid. He got me the spec that I wanted, and he actually got these coated in the gloss black that I wanted, and it turned out beautiful. The finish on them is absolutely beautiful. The barrels are nice and glossy, so it's not gonna stick onto the brake dust and everything. We got the black TPMS valve stems. We also got black wheel weights in there and everything, so it's exactly what I wanted. We decided to go with the OG black BBS caps, which look really, really good, and I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. So what I want to do in this video is, I know they look really clean and they were just freshly coated and freshly done, so the finish is brand new, but what I want to do is actually clean them up because they are a little bit dusty from the shipping and you know, just getting the tires mounted and everything. So I wanted to wash them up, clean them up, and then I want to ceramic coat them. Also, I like to denib these tires, all my tires. I did it on the E88s as well, on all my other wheels. I can't stand all those little nibs around there. It just takes a few minutes per wheel to get them all off. So we're gonna do that as well. But ceramic coating these, especially since they're gloss, it's gonna look amazing and they're gonna hold up and not get scratched up so easily. I will say I do have to be a little careful washing these since it is a gloss black, but you guys know me. I'm super anal, super detailed when it comes to all that stuff, so I think we'll be okay cleaning them up, and obviously I know what to look for, so I'm not too worried about it. I've had gloss black wheels in the past. My wife's Telluride has gloss black wheels. We've had that car for about 4 or 5 years now, and the wheels look perfect, so I'm not too worried about the wheels getting scratched up and everything. So let's go ahead, let's get this set up for my little washing station. Just gonna do a simple wipe down with some GSF and then rinse them down, dry them up, denib, and then once they're all dried, we'll get the ceramic coating. All right, so let's get these washed up now. Not a crazy process that I do to get these cleaned up. You know, the initial wash before the ceramic coating, but I just like to kind of wash them, get rid of all anything that's kind of sitting on the wheel from shipping, and then I just wipe them down with some GSF and a microfiber. I don't do anything crazy, but just kind of rinse them down. Get inside the barrel. Now again, these are really clean, but they still have some of the, what do you call it, the tire stuff, the tire goop that they put on when they put the tires on, and they were relatively clean, but let me lay them down. And I got some GSF in here with some warm water because it's cool out. I'm just using a microfiber instead of brushes right now, and I'm just gonna wipe them down. So nothing crazy. If you have gloss black wheels, I highly recommend doing this method. You don't need to use any crazy brushes or anything like that. And what this is doing is just getting all the kind of surface grime that may be sitting on top before we ceramic coat, because we want the wheels as clean as possible before we ceramic coat. And for ceramic, if you guys are curious, I've used it before in other wheels. I use C Quartz Deluxe. The reason why I use that is because it's good on wheels, plastics, brakes, and it actually holds up really well to heat. So anything that's going to heat up on a car, like in the engine bay or wheels or brakes, this is a really good ceramic because it holds up and it does a great job at keeping the wheels and whatever you may be coating protected. So I usually do anything under the engine bay, wheels, brake calipers with C Quartz Deluxe. So nothing special, nothing fancy, as you can see, super clean. I will say much easier to clean than the E88s. And then I just kind of wipe the tire down. Again, they're all really clean, but you guys know me. And kind of go above and beyond to make sure it's perfect before it goes on the car. And it's ready to roll. Now, I'm going to use a separate microfiber for each wheel. So there's not going to be any cross-contamination or anything if anybody's worried. Also, the last step is I take the microfiber and I kind of jab it in between the tire and the rim to get rid of any wheel goop that's left over. That stuff does come out over time, but I like to try to remove it before I put it on the car. Like that. We'll do it on the back side here as well. Man, I love the way RT660s fit on wheels when you have the right sizing. Super square sidewall. The Michelins are too bubbly for me. These just look so proper on here. I love it. All right, so now just rinse them on down. Don't have to get crazy with the power washer or anything like that, just a simple hose. Get all the soap off. And that's about it. That one is done. For drying, I'm just using the same drying towels that I use on the paint of the car. And I'm just gonna wipe it down gently, not get crazy. You know, these will air dry somewhat, so I just wanna get the majority of the water off and get them as dry as I can before we ceramic coat. But I really like how these turned out. Gloss black's a little risky, but if you're somebody like me that really pays attention to all that stuff and knows what they're doing when it comes to paint, don't be afraid of getting gloss black. And if you guys are wondering, I did get the GTS hood, the OEM GTS hood, so that is en route. I'm currently getting everything situated and should be here. So these wheels, man, those look good. So these wheels with the GTS hood, this car is going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. I mean, it already is, but even more nuts. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this thing turns out and enjoy this car some more before we move over to the GT3. Wow, that finish is really nice. Holy moly. We'll get you a shot of this in a second, but whoa. These look good. Second rear wheel. I am so much happier with the look of these than the E88s. As nice as the E88s are, I think these are gonna look so good on the F80. These things, I love them. And the thing about black wheels with 18s on this car is, even though they're 18s and they're smaller for this car, so to speak, the tire and the wheel kind of blend together. So the wheel actually looks larger than the 18. Everyone was always so shocked to hear that the TEs were 18s. They always thought they were 19s. So it kind of helps with the sizing to be able to keep the weight really low. And you can get a nice meaty chunky tire on there. You don't have to run little baby rubber band tires. Get some nice meat on there so it actually grips. And not to mention it looks so sick. At least in my opinion. That's just kind of the style that I like. I prefer a meatier bulldog stance on my cars than kind of the fancy step lips and all that. Granted, I love them. I just like this look much better, in my opinion. Wow, these are so easy to clean. With the gloss finish, it just glides on there. Especially when these things are ceramic coated, they're just gonna be so easy to clean. Just let the tire down, sidewall. I don't use any crazy mineral spirits or anything like that. You can, but I just don't find it really as necessary as some others do. The little yellow dots I end up taking off later. Just scrape them off. Oh man, these things are sick. So you guys are probably wondering, am I installing them in this video? Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm not. Just because I need to get these ceramic coated before I put them on the car. That's just my craziness. Because I know once I put them on the car, I'm gonna wanna drive it and everything, and then once they're dirty, I'm gonna have to clean them again. It's kind of a vicious cycle where I'll never ceramic coat them, so I might as well just do it now. I waited long enough anyway for these, so I might as well wait a little bit longer to get these ready to roll. So let's rinse this one off. These are actually pretty light too, but probably not as light as the 88s. I'm sure a lot of you that always yelled a bit at me about not running center caps, you'll be happy to see that I have center caps on these. because this is the first wheel, aftermarket wheel, that I have run on the F80 that accepts center caps. The TEs, can't put center caps on those. E88s, the race pockets, you can't put center caps on those. So this is my first set of wheels other than the OEM 666s that I ran center caps on. So all you people that used to comment on me on my videos about not running center caps and if I was ever to get them, here you go. This one's for you guys. Now, I just went with the simple black BBS center caps here. I could go with blue, I could go with red, I could go with the black and gold ones. A lot of different options out there. There's green ones. You can do the self-leveling ones as well, which I might do. But I just wanted to keep it simple. I just went with the black and silver, which makes sense. You know, if I wanted to change it up, I most certainly can. But I think the black and silver just fits me better and fits the car. Nothing too crazy, doesn't pop out too much, doesn't stand out too much. Makes sense if you have a theme on your car or something, you know, have a red brakes or something. I mean, the brakes are blue, but I don't know. I'm just usually not a fan of crazy popping center caps that really serve no purpose other than just kind of standing out too much, I guess. I don't know. I think the black looks just fine. And like I said, I can easily change them out if I wanted to. I'm super happy that I told Ron, I was like, make sure you do black wheel weights. He's like, trust me, dude, I got you. I didn't even have to remind him. I can't stand silver wheel weights. Even on silver wheels, I like black wheel weights. I think it looks cleaner. I actually have a whole entire set of black wheel weights that I either bring to the wheel shop, the tire shop, to put the tires on, or I do it after, which I did on my TEs. You guys saw me do that. I took the silver ones off and put the black ones on. Now, those wheels were black, so that made sense, but yeah, all right. Now, this is a front. This is a 10. It's funny how not wide this looks compared to the 11s, which are 295s, and these are 275s. These are some beefy tires. I love how square the sidewall is. This is gonna look so good. Super pumped. I know I said that like 1,000 times, but new wheels are always fun, but especially when you feel like you really nailed the look and the wheel that it should have been on the car from the beginning. Makes me even happier. Oh, there's still some soap here. Also, keep in mind, it's like 20-something degrees out, and it's 57 in here with the heater on. Not a bad place to work. All right, so I got 2 of the rears done. I still got 1 more front done. I got to dry that one off. Here is how they look, dried up. Super clean. Obviously, there's no dressing on the tires, and it's not ceramic coated, so these things are going to get better and better in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up this wheel, get this one done. Going to let these dry, and then we'll start on the denibbing of the tires. Over here, as you can see, some little nibs. That'll take a few minutes, and then we can get on to the ceramic coating. But man, these things look, I mean, look at this. This looks like a 20-inch wheel just because of the blending of the tire and the wheel. I love it. All right, guys, so we got the wheels all cleaned up. Figured I would give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what these things are gonna look like. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, obviously the offset is a little crazy right now, but look how, honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is it. Hard to see, but I'm telling you, with that concave, especially in the rear with the big 11s, oh my God, this is gonna look so good. So good. And I just love these tires. I love the tread on them, how they look, everything about them. I think this is like my go-to tire now, especially on a car like this, but geez, obviously it's the other way. This is the passenger side, but I mean, look what I'm talking about. These wheels look like a 20. They look so much larger than 18 because of the black. It blends in with the tire. So I think the big thing with the E88s is, or at least silver wheels, is as you can tell, you look beautiful. Love these wheels, but the silver doesn't blend in with the black. Obviously, it's contrasting, so it's two different colors, but it makes the wheel look even smaller than they truly are. So kind of rolling these in place, see what I mean? Looks so much bigger. But my God, I can't imagine what this is gonna look like with the GTS hood on there. Oh my God, this car is, I am so freaking pumped. I've done so much to this car. I love it so much, but these wheels and that hood coming in, I'm telling you, this car, I know it's a very typical thing for an F80 to do, you know, BBS RIAs, you know, a GTS hood. It's pretty common stuff these days, but I feel like the direction I've went with this car, doing the OEM GTS hood with the nice crazy carbon weave underneath and kind of custom BBS RIAs, I'm pumped. If you guys can't tell, I'm really excited about this. I don't think I've been this excited about a set of wheels, even with the TEs. I love the TEs, but these, I think these are gonna be it. So, all right, so next thing I'm gonna do to get these things ready is start to denib the tires, just get them all cleaned up. I'm actually gonna do the back sides of them as well. I usually just do the fronts, but I just wanna be around the wheels right now and hang out in the garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and go front and back, denib, and then we're gonna get to ceramic coating. So I'm probably just gonna show you one or two of the wheels getting ceramic coated just so you guys get an idea. And then obviously we'll wrap the video up then. I'll show you the finished end results. All right, let me get set up for denibbing and then we can go on to the ceramic. So we're gonna start the denibbing process. I just take a razor and I like to stay on the side of the tire so I can see the nibs. When you're looking straight at the wheel, it's harder to see them. So when you're on the side, much easier to see. So I put the blade out, pull on the nib, and just pop them off. So I know this is a little extra, but I do this with all my tires or new wheels. I can't stand the nibs, they bother me. So this being such a nice set of wheels, it's worthy of the denibbing time that it takes. I need to get one of those, I already did two of the wheels. I need to get one of those wheel, what do you call it? The wheel little things you put them on so you can spin them while you're ceramic coating and doing this. That'd be really helpful in this situation, but this works as well. But the nice part about the RT660s is that there's not many nibs on here. When I got my truck tires, when I got the Nitto grapplers, oh my God, the amount of nibs on that. Matter of fact, I think I may have not even done it on those because there was just an overwhelming amount of nibs on those. I'll have to check. I forget if I did it or not. If I did it, I probably blacked it out of my memory because it probably took days to get all those nibs off. Ugh. I'm really curious about the weight difference between these and the E88s. It's probably around the same, to be honest. Or these might be slightly heavier. These are probably on par with the TEs. I mean, it's a forged wheel, so they are very, very light. I think they're probably around 18 pounds, which is what the TEs were. But the E88s were crazy light, like noticeable difference between the TEs and the E88s when I was putting them on and taking them off. Easily can notice just by feeling it, the weight difference, which was crazy because you would think the E88s weigh more just because there's more to them since they're three-piece, but nope. I think we saved like 4 or 5 pounds, 3 pounds, something like that per wheel, which is, that's a lot. And the TEs, as you all know, are very light. Again, those are forged too, so. But I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be nice going back to a single-pieced wheel. I think if I ever did a multi-piece wheel again, I would go to a 2-piece. 3 pieces are cool. I think 3-piece are cool if you track the car. So, you know, because things can break and you don't have to buy a whole new wheel. Or you are, you know, like a show car and you want specific fitment. But for me, I think I would only do a 2-piece wheel next if I wanted to go to a multi-piece wheel. Just because 3-piece is a little bit more maintenance, because there's bigger chances for them to leak and have some issues with that. Because there's you got the lip, you got the barrel, and you also got the face of the wheel, which all 3 of those areas can have leaking issues. So thankfully, I don't have that with my E88s, but I know a lot of people that have had 3-piece and they say they would never do it again. because of those reasons. All right, so I think I got them all. I always think that, and then I end up finding a couple when I'm cleaning the car next, but they're pretty easy to spot on the RT660. So let's put this one to the side, and we'll bring over a front. This is the last one, actually. So I don't know if you guys are, yeah, you're in frame. And let's get these off. So I know you guys just want to see them on the car, and trust me, so do I, but this whole process is fun to me. I enjoy the therapeutic release that this gives me. Kind of just giving the wheels a once-over, getting them clean, getting them to my standard. Because then when I do clean them, they clean up very nicely. You know, it's kind of anything in life. If you put the time in and the effort, the end result is always so much better. Not to mention when you spend all the time getting these ceramic coated and getting them, you know, up to super clean spec. When you go to wash the car and you wash the wheels, they're so easy to clean because, you know, there's not all that junk in the way. You don't have to worry about all the tire goop and all that. And, you know, I get the excitement of wanting to put them on right away, but, you know, spend the night, spend a few hours getting the wheels ready, and you'll thank me later when you go to wash the car and hardly any brake dust sticks to it. You can just basically spray them down with a pressure washer and they're good to go, especially being gloss black. You know, I'm going to try to keep these as clean as possible. You know, I don't daily drive this car, so I don't have to worry about as much brake dust as other people would probably be experiencing. Now, I have the Akabono ceramic pads on here, so they dust 95% less than the OEM ones, so it's not bad at all anymore, thank God. That was such a huge pain and annoyance for me because I would wash the car, back it out of the driveway, and just from applying the brakes coming out of the driveway, the whole entire wheel would be covered in that Cheeto dust from the rust from the rotors and the brake dust, and it was just ridiculous. So going to the Akabono ceramic pads, I did a whole video installing them. Huge upgrade. And in terms of performance, I haven't noticed any decrease in performance. People say the initial cold bite is not good. I haven't experienced that, and I would be honest with you, if that was the case, I actually have the same exact pads on my truck. I've had those pads on for like 20,000 miles now, 25,000 miles. It's been fantastic. The wheels hardly ever get dirty. Super easy to clean, and I didn't even ceramic coat those wheels on the truck. So, all right, I know I'm just blabbering on here, but just kind of hanging out in the garage, you know? I'm just a chill guy. But all right, let me get these last few nibs, and then I'm gonna get the coating station set up on the workbench over here, and we'll get to coating. Super easy, super simple. Again, take your time, do it right. The result will be so much better in the long run if you just do it and take the time. So, all right, so we are ready to ceramic coat. Now, as I mentioned, I like using Seaquartz Deluxe. This is the bottle it comes in the little packaging. You get a bunch of little applicators. You also get one of these, which is good for a car, but on wheels, I much prefer just holding it like this so I can get into all the grooves. But something else we're gonna need, which I forgot, is some microfiber towels to remove the coating. So I got my coating towels here. And if you never ceramic coated before, don't be nervous. It is probably one of the easiest things in the world. It's just as easy as waxing. So get your applicator, kind of dose it down like that, and you simply just wipe it on. So the only thing you need to do with ceramic coating is just stay organized. So, you know, do a section at a time, or, you know, an area at a time. So right now I'm just doing the faces, center, And then I'm going to go around and the spokes and get each one as best as I possibly can. And then once we wipe this down, I'll spin it over and do the barrels as well. But it's as simple as this. Wipe it on, add a little bit more, since this is a new pad and it's not saturated yet. But try to get in all the cracks and crevices as best as you can, because the better you coat this, the better it's going to turn out, and the easier they are to keep clean, and the nicer they're going to look after you use them. So, but as I said, don't be discouraged about doing this. Very, very easy. You just want to make sure the surface is nice and clean, just like a wax. Now this is where those wheel dolly things where you can put it on the wheel and just spin it. And that's what they would come in handy right about now. But I don't have one of those, so just doing it the old-fashioned way on the workbench. Get the lip here. Now, when you remove it, all you got to kind of wait for is the coating. You kind of see it, I don't want to say rainbow, but you kind of see it haze a little bit. And then that is when you can take your clean microfiber and wipe it off. It's as simple as that. Now, when you ceramic coat something, you can't get it wet for, I usually wait 24 hours, sometimes longer. But you can't get it wet for at least 12 hours, just because the coating will not cure properly. So that is why I'm doing it tonight, so I can install them tomorrow. It'll be a full 24 hours of them curing before I even touching them. So once they're all cured up tomorrow, we can throw them on the car. We can get to actually seeing what these things look like on there, but I'm telling you, I think this is going to be my favorite setup that I've ever run on this car so far, at least for now. I love the TEs, I love the E88s, but I'm telling you, man, this setup in person, as simple as it is really good. Sometimes simple and not as crazy is the way to go. Almost like an OEM setup, but with better offsets, and in my opinion, a better looking wheel. All right, so now I'm gonna flip it up and do the barrels. Same exact way. So I'm gonna leave these sitting up like this. It's much easier to coat barrels when the wheel is vertical like this. I'm also doing the back of the spokes as well. Might as well, right? And the hub. Now, I never bother with the actual hub that touches the hub of the car. I just do the, like around it. All right, now wipe that off. And this wheel will be done and ready to go tomorrow. So again, just got to wait the full, for me, 24 hours. And the best part after ceramic coating is doing the first wash, because then you start to see all your work come into play. You can see it, be super hydrophobic, and it cleans up really well. And plus then I put the drying aid on top, and it just makes the gloss and the depth even more. So that's always my favorite wash, right after you do a detail. Always the best. All right, so wheel number 1 is done. Just gonna go around and make sure I wipe down everything properly. You don't wanna leave any ceramic drying on there because then it gets kind of hazy and you get some high spots and it doesn't look good. But yeah, looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna get a rear, show you a rear, and then I'll show you the finished product. I don't think you guys wanna see me do all 4 wheels. It's the same thing over and over, but those look amazing. All right, so let's get a rear. The big 11-incher back here. Oh my God, this thing is massive. All right, so same scenario here. Get the pad drenched. Start in the center. I highly recommend wearing gloves, at least on your hand that you're dealing with the ceramic, because you don't want this soaking into your skin. Safety first, right? Do the caps as well. I was thinking about doing the gold and black caps too. It's a black background with a gold BBS, because I would like to one day do a new color on the calipers, and I really like the ceramic gold. And then I can match the golden wrench supply cap set in the engine bay to the gold. And the lower class garage, front chassis bar, front brace, whatever you want to call it, that in gold too. So it's got that gold kind of accent, but I don't know. Just a thought. I think it would look really good behind the black wheels. It would look really cool with the black and gold BBS logos. Something to think about. Pretty simple. Just stay organized. Now there's tons of other wheel coatings out there, but this is the one that I just seem to gravitate towards. I've done it on many different sets of wheels and it's held up really well. It's not crazy expensive. I think this whole bottle is like 50 bucks. All right, so we got the face covered and all the spokes. Now we're just going around and wiping off the excess. Comes off like butter too, super smooth and easy. Wow. And the great thing about these is as it cures, the ceramic, it gets deeper and deeper. So the gloss is gonna get pretty crazy by tomorrow once it's fully cured. But all right, I've talked a lot in this video, so let me go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll show you guys the end result of how these things look, and then we can wrap the video up. All right, guys, so we are all finished up. I actually threw a layer of tire dressing on the sidewalls of both the front and the back as well, because new tires, they tend to soak in a lot more dressing when you first put them on. So I wanted to put them on and let that soak overnight as the ceramic is curing as well. But man, these things look absolutely insane. The gloss on these things is incredible. And I love the concave of them. Exactly what this car needs. I mean, look at that. Looks so good. Now, again, E88s look amazing, but I think this is the ticket for me at least. And it's really gonna kind of take this car to the next level. The TE setup was fantastic. E88 is amazing, but for whatever reason, this simple RIA setup, it's just doing it for me, man. It just looks so good. I'm so happy with it. I went back to the RT660s. This car deserves it. And just how aggressive I got everything going on the car. I think it really just kind of, it really works. And as I mentioned, GTS hood with these things, oh my God, it's gonna look nuts. So nuts, I love it. So the next video is kind of what you guys are waiting for, as well as myself. And that is actually installing them on the F80, going over all the details, playing with spacers, getting it to fit right. Although I don't think I have to do much because, as I mentioned, this is very similar to my TE setup. And I haven't changed anything in terms of the ride height or specs in terms of alignment as well. So basically you could just throw these on, play with some spacers, see what works best, and then go from there. But I'm so happy I decided to do this. And as much as I love the E88s, I think this is the way to go. So huge shout out to Ron at AR Motorworks. I really do appreciate getting me this wheel set up exactly the way that I wanted it, having everything mounted. Oh yeah, also I didn't even mention it has the Huff T PMS in there as well. So it is ready to roll. Also, another really quick thing that I forgot to mention is that these things balanced out so well. So some of these, let's see. Yeah, this one has 4 little weights there. The other ones just have 1. So this one had the most weights on it, but these things balanced out so well. It's crazy. This is the Road Force Mountain Balance as well. So they really know what they're doing. They position the tire in the correct orientation and all that. So you get the best balance and everything, so you don't have to worry about all the wheel wobble and all of that mess and everything. So just want to give a huge shout out to Ron at AR Motorworks. Not only were they able to hook me up with these wheels, but get exactly what I wanted, the exact spec, the exact color, the exact tire. We got the Huff T PMS on there with the black valve stems and caps, black wheel weights, and everything just turned out perfectly. They obviously had to coat these and get them all set and everything, so they got them out very, very quickly for what they had to do. And it was just an absolute awesome experience. Ron, he was giving me his cell number. I was like, dude, if you need anything, just let me know. I really do appreciate the business and everything. And he was super cool, probably one of the cooler companies I've ever had to deal with. Ron was just an amazing person to work with. And he was able to get me exactly what I wanted. And I'm really happy that I'm able to get his work onto my car after all these years. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. I will leave Ron's information down below. I'll also leave the C-Quartz Deluxe ceramic coating, so if you're looking to do the same thing, you can definitely pick that up in the link below. If you guys have any questions at all, be sure to leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.